Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed lunch and the full energy. And because we will have a great decision now, this topic will be blockchain game developers in Turkey, a very fast-growing community. I want to invite your moderator, Okan Kavurga.
Hey.
And the other speakers, Tansu Kendirli, Murat Kahraman, and Onur Yüksektepeli. Stage is yours. Good luck.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So let's just start things off with like real speed round. What's your favorite chain? And you can only use 3 words to describe it.
My favorite chain is definitely Terra Luna. And my 3 words, buy the dip.
Awesome.
My favorite chain, no jokes, is Solana actually. Despite the downtowns, but 3 words, low gas fees, maybe good, great actually, developer community, and very fast indeed.
Nice. Definitely a tough act to follow. So, Tansu, your answers?
I don't have 3 words.
Sure.
Just 2 words. I think it will be enough. My favorite chain is Solana. And let's say when we talk about the network, it seems to be like the Polygon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Onur?
Okay, I am a classic one, the Ethereum, the volatility, sustainability, and of course the community.
Great stuff. So, when it comes to event like this, people are generously throwing around buzzwords, and there's also a buzzword that I want to throw it out there, DAOs or DAOs. Are we ready to move on to a centralized oligarchy, from a dynamic standpoint, or are we ready for the whole free-for-all decision-making market right now?
Actually, I don't know it will be the DAO, the name, but I believe one day the community will become, or the world become, everybody has some ID, something like wallet address, and will serve the companies or other individuals with that wallet address. So this is the pure definition of decentralization, by the way. But in the manner of the DAO, it's very hard to execute at the moment as of today because we have some regulatory issues and some scam issues and something like that. And there is some war between like terror issue between the conventional world and our crypto world. It will be hard, or it's something like again we have to transform business again. But it's not easy as Web 2.0 because why? You cannot think like blockchain world as a pure technology because we have some finance issues and some all of aspects at the end of the day depends on the financial institution. So I don't know when, but in logic, in new world or in new generation, we are ready to execute DAOs, by the way.
What was the question? It depends on the definition of DAO actually. For me, DAO is, there's a very simplified definition of it. You have a WhatsApp group with your friends. Then one friend tells, let's move to Telegram first. Then you move to Telegram and one of them just tell you that let's buy something or let's invest something or let's start a business together. We are good people here. And another one says, okay, let's open a shared bank account. And the bank says, no, I can't open a shared account for many people. Another say, okay, let's go with a crypto wallet. And you have a shared crypto wallet there. And someone asks you, who will manage the money or manage this organization? And another say, let's vote. And there's a genius there, and he says voting is complicated. You can do it with smart contracts. and hope you have a DAO. And another genius marketing one says, we need also a fancy name, and then hope you are a DAO. It's that simple. And you pay no tax, which is good.
Always welcome.
Yeah, that's why DAO is simple, actually.
Yeah, I'm not asking for the question a second time from you. So basically, I'm a little bit older of these guys. So basically, you can call me a baby boomer, but pretty, let's say, enough to experience a lot of things in this last 50 years. So buzzword, we will see more buzzwords, I think, in the upcoming 2 or 3 years, because if you have something like a new technology like blockchain, it has to be regulated. If you don't have any regulation, so the most expected thing is the, let's say, conventional economy heads on to you and destroys you for amount of time. We need to change our, let's say, fundamentals to understand the DAO and decentralized finance. And maybe it wasn't able to, our generation, maybe people from 80s wouldn't be so able to do that because the lack of regulations. But in the meantime, maybe in 5 or 10 years, we will see definitely, because of the, let's say, the last economy we experienced in the last 12 years, apart from 2008, you know, almost everywhere in the world, the economy is, let's say, going to fiat. And you are experiencing that in your life almost every day. Your, let's say, purchase abilities are going down. The governments who needs to be taxed their people are spending a lot of money. They are creating, let's say, bubbles. So definitely that will change the people's fundamental at the end. And they will also find a shelter maybe at blockchain, especially in the cryptocurrency environment. But that doesn't mean we have, let's say, around 10,000 different cryptos today. And we will experience a big shock, in my opinion, when you notice they will also, some of them will be like, end up with digital. There was a baby in US at the 80s. Everyone wants to buy it. I guess it was, I don't remember that name, but mini babies or something like this, like LOL dolls, you know, LOL dolls, LOL dolls. Every child wants to buy the dolls, little dolls. They came up from, let's say, like Kinder Surprise, okay? From my point of view, it's, now we are experiencing the Kinder Surprise era of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. They will be wake-up call, and then that wake-up call will change the fundamentals of people, and we need that change, almost not just for individuals, I mean, also in the governmental side, and the regulating side, of course. Then after that, maybe we can change a huge, we can expect a huge spike in decentralized finance. That's my opinion.
You know, as a DeFi degen, half of what you said broke my heart so fundamentally, but at the same time, you know, I can't help but agree you on terms of, you know, regulation. So, you know, that brings me to a kind of newer interesting avenue. When we are talking about, you know, regulation and, you know, big companies moving into the field, there's a strong argument saying that, you know, if all of this ecosystem is worth like $100 right now, when the big guys move in, you know, the big tech companies and, you know, the companies that are kind of available to the general public, the value will spike to $1,000. So in your arguments, how welcome are the big guys in this space?
Maybe in next bearish season. I don't know, by the way. But in my personal opinion, I don't want to see the old guys, and I'm meaning not just very old guys. I am meaning the Microsoft and the
Fight.
Yes. I mean the technological guys, because when biggest guys comes to place, there is some movement. There is some movement problem. The volatility is the king. Is always the king since 10 years in the blockchain era, and when these old guys comes to area, they are hard to move and really create some problems, and they are always saying there's something like regulations and regulations. In my opinion, the Web 3.0 or the gaming area has no need to regulations, because they are creating their own economy, they are spending their own economy, and someone wants to control this, by the way. So I hope they never land this year, but it says something like Alice in Wonderland. I know, probably next bearish season, the biggest guys is coming to this area, because in the...
Power or like an
enhancer? Enhancer in the technological way, but disruptive in the economical way and the game way. One trick about that, in this season, tech stocks and crypto started to move in parallel. So we have some clues about that. Just NFTs is behaving differently, because probably, not we are sure about that, the market is decoupling from the token economy. Because in this bull season, bear season, they fall down, but NFTs goes up. Maybe, we cannot say the market is decoupling at the moment, but probably they will match with the big guys and the tech guys, and they will land this area.
For me, we are dreaming a decentralized world. And why do we need those big guys to re-centralize this world?
Yeah, that's, in my opinion, I don't disagree with Onur. That's wishful thinking, yes. And maybe it will be, let's say, much more give hope to people who experience this mess in their lifetime for almost, let's say, I guess everyone in this room is almost between 27 or 30, except Yusuf. He's just 5 years old. So maybe he will understand the new economy and the new fundamentals better than us. But if it comes to the reality and, let's say, the function of the government in our lifetime, it is built up almost for, let's say, 5,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago. So we have an understanding who to govern, who to tax people, and who to create a life, let's say, an ecosystem for people. So every government has to control something, and it is not so easy to let the control away. If we get the control away, you cannot put things in order. Of course, there are people who has the control everything, like control freaks, but at the end, I think that will be a great, let's say, struggle for that. I mean, a struggle even maybe bigger than the world wars in the fundamental area, also in the digital world. And that will take a little bit more longer time than we expect. You will see, I guess, in 2 or 3 years, people lose faith to cryptocurrencies. Most of the people who are early in this world. People lose faith in NFTs. But it will come. Yeah, it is always so. Yeah, when you look at new technologies, and the Gartner, let's say, Gartner graphic, it comes always with hypes. Then people lose faith. It was also in the 3D printing area. It was also in almost every new technological forward step. But this is different than others because it is dependent on our life, on our life quality, let's say. And people never get their, let's say, öncelik ya da şey neydi, avantaj neydi?
Advantage.
Their advantages, never let their advantages go away. So we should expect much more resistance from the government. Also from media, who basically is sponsored by them. Also from, you will also see some, let's say, big thinkers, or let's say, public profiles, are under pressure, will be under pressure, especially for maybe 5 years. They wouldn't able to speak their, let's say, true opinions about things, about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain. And at the end, that they will come to terms. Everyone will come to terms because that system who created almost constant messes in every 25 years, 30 years, and will continue. And we should experience 2 or 3 more crises. I'm not talking about, by the way, about NFTs or blockchain. And on our lifetime, about economical crisis, currency crisis. We need a currency crisis to get over this mess. So my advice will be prepared because we are now entering in a commodity era. Commodity era is different than a financial era. The commodities will spike up. We will see food prices going up. You will see energy prices are going up. You will see almost everything in our lifetime will definitely much more, let's say, expensive than 5 or 6 years ago. And after that, people and the governments who are now represented with newcomers can change the prospect and the fundamentals of the system. But in this time, with these governments, I'm hardly expecting let's say, I'm not optimistic. Okay?
Well, that took a darker turn. So, moving on, we heard the phrase, NFTs will be the next big thing, NFTs will be the next big thing, throughout, especially in the last couple of months. I mean, just judging from December, I've seen the evolvement of NFTs from just profile pictures to, commodities saying that, okay, we are not a profile picture project, but we are also building something in Sandbox. What are we building? We are building something. And then it moved on to wrapped NFTs, where user wasn't just satisfied with a single image, but they also wanted to rights to other forms of the said image too, so that they could utilize it on different occasions as well. So my question is, what do you think, or do you envision, will be the next step for NFTs? Like, how are we going to utilize this technology to an even greater extent?
Actually, NFTs just popped up with the profile pictures, but when you look at the root of the NFTs, it's a very clever and logical smart contract, by the way. So there are some areas that can NFT match. First of all, the commodity one and the art one. This is how NFT exploded, by the way. Everybody knows this. But I want to talk about, with NFTs, the biggest thing should be on the NFTs is the utilities. What utilities are you loading to NFTs? So that's why gaming world and NFT world match perfectly in this new era. Even if it is a metaverse or something you are calling game or other thing, when you match utilities and NFTs perfectly and monetize these commodities with the tokens, it will be very perfect match. And I think we should just be calm down as a gaming companies. Why? Because we have just started. Because there is nothing different by the view of the gaming companies. yes, for example, 10 years ago, we were spending our money in the Blizzard auction house, and now we will just spend our monies on the OpenSea or something like that, another NFT marketplace. I want to answer. Yes, please. I will go.
No.
So basically, yes, the games and the crypto world are matched perfectly. But if we are thinking about the real economy, I think the utility will become much more, let's say, much more important if we are combine our, let's say, production skills or, let's say, the resources to combine also with games and blockchain and with the real world. I mean, like in agriculture, in banking, and everyone will develop their skills maybe inside their games. The whole fundamental of the education thing will change immediately if you are going that way without any hesitation. And that's why I agree with you, but it needs time, and it needs to be, let's say, people should come with better practices.
Yes.
That's why I'm very, let's say, a little bit hesitant to say blockchain games are perfect games. They are just in the baby steps now, and mostly the metas are very, very bad. And you are playing this game just for earn money, yes. You need to be you don't need to be let's say a hardcore gamer even. But if the projects are good enough, if they have some utility, if can develop some, let's say, intrinsic value and utilities inside the game, but also related with the new worlds and the new economy, then we will see a boom. That's my opinion.
By the way, we are on the same page. Why? Because when you say something, some buzzwords related to technology, everybody is afraid. It's something like, in my teenage times, everybody knows TV as a devil thing. It's same thing, by the way. Everybody is looking some rocket science behind the NFT. No, the rocket science was blockchain. And we created the rocket science. The rocket science was TCP, IP, and HTTP on the web too. But in here, the rocket science is blockchain. So NFT is very basic. Why you say, if you want to create NFT, why? First, ask yourself why. For example, I create NFT because I want to sell the tickets of this event. I want to create NFT to buy something. I want to create... Yes, now you have a utility and you have a value, by the way. For example, if you want to go a club, create a NFT, clubbing NFT. So you have to load a lot of NFTs. Think about that when we return back to gaming area. Think about just an item. It's a legendary, or it's epic, or what are you loading to that NFT? What's the utility? Why? Why you are creating? If you add a value to NFT, there is no problem, by the way. But if you are just wanting to create NFT and as you mentioned, everyone thinks about, I am creating NFT and I am solding out in 10 minutes and gaining $4 million. It's not something like that. I am actually, I love the scam projects. As an investor, they are very good to flipping some monies, but that's not the purpose. Everybody thinks about that, yes. For example, somebody buying and Bitcoin and just not understanding the industry and getting something and becoming rich. No, it's not the reality. The gaining money is always hard, and you have to investigate NFTs, tokens, and the technology, by the way.
In my opinion, games are much more important for the blockchain on NFT worlds than blockchain or NFTs are important for games. Why? Why? Because games are maybe the first real use of the blockchain technology, actually. Before the games, there was no utilities or very low utilities. games may be the tipping point actually for the blockchain technology because of the only way for the mass adoption actually. And now we are talking about blockchains, but the adoption is very low, still very low. We are talking about a couple of millions of wallets. But if we can adapt the games for blockchain, also other blockchain companies will have a lot of users. And NFTs, the games are very important for the NFTs.
So speaking about adoption, so this kind of came like a really nice surprise to me while I was doing some research. As far as crypto adoption is concerned, Turkey in particular, especially compared to the statics in MENA, has the adoption rate of the accumulated adoption rates of the following 10 countries. So what that means is that we have the adoption rate of 10 times bigger than the companies in the MENA region. So that tells a lot of stuff about how Turkey is kind of ready to adopt or ready to develop in this area. Now, adding on to that, it's a common knowledge that Turkey and Istanbul in particular is like the Silicon Valley when it comes to hyper-casual games, casual games, etc. Now, since we are in this inevitable transitional era into blockchain, how do you think the companies can evolve themselves to adapt to blockchain, the Web3, or do they face any threats in terms of being outdated, or how can they better prepare for this transition?
I'll start. I'm on the game development side, and for a game developer, the game business, whatever platform, whatever genre, whatever revenue model, on-chain or off-chain, the game business is about the game. You have to make a good game on the first step. And luckily, in Turkey, we learn how to make good games. And that's why it's an advantage for us. And on the blockchain side, it's, as I thought, the games are very important for blockchain ecosystem. In this time, as Tansu said, it's a hype, and every hype, it's very natural actually. The hype is not a bad thing. It's maybe a balloon or pop-up, anything, because now we have hundreds of game projects on blockchain. Probably most of them will not survive next year. It's quite normal actually, but the market size will be much larger with those a couple of surviving games. And we are expecting that. And it's a perfect time actually for a game developer to switch to blockchain, because you will never be able to raise the money as today, or you can never find a team, or you can never just build a community. It is the best time to start. And I can say that next year, maybe in a couple of years, but next year will not be the same as this time, as today. So hurry up.
Yes, the speed, actually. Yes and no. Yeah. Yes, speed is very important, and yes and no. Why? Because you have to be very speedy. Why? Because every bullish season, there is some hype on the blockchain. For example, yes, and it will be change. Maybe 6 months later, we will face with new bullish season, and it's getting speeding. Why? Because last year we just hug just DeFi, and today this bullish season we hug two technology, Metaverse and the NFT, and probably maybe next year 3 technology. But I am totally agree, 100% agree with the, Murat. You are a gaming company, or you are a blockchain company. Your main purpose is creating a game, not blockchain or some spatial chain or some DeFi things and something like that. And as a blockchain company, you have to create a good blockchain ecosystem. So make partnership with other companies. Think your core business. If you are a gaming company, focus on the game. And if you are a blockchain company, focus on the blockchaining. Not try to do all the things in same company. Because we are in the lighting fast world, living in the lighting fast world, so you have to control or you have to adopt your main business. That's my advice to companies.
So, I think now what I will be mentioned will be quite controversial. But we had an experience, a game. We have experienced a game which has a utility at 2016 or 17, and that was Tombul Çocuk, who did basically a rag pull and leave Turkey with his girlfriend, and he drove his Lamborghini or Ferrari at Uruguay or Argentina. How many of you remember this guy from Çiftlik Bank? So, Tosuncuk, yes. So basically, I think in that case, we lost a great opportunity. Yes, it was a rug pull. Yes, we didn't have any regulated environments. He did basically work as a financial institution instead of a gaming company. But the model needs to be discussed because it was a model with the real-time value and intrinsic value, and also a combined cooperation of users, of gamers. It was in agriculture, yes. We should talk about more, I think, on that, because maybe it was a bad story for all the players. Also for the government, it was let's say, a shameful thing to mention even. But there are also some truths on that, which can give us, let's say, a new and clear vision how we can apply our gaming experiences with our real-time life needs of lifetime. So basically, I see in that model a powerful tool to use, but maybe not this time, because it creates a community. It creates also benefits, real life benefits. Maybe with use of blockchain and NFTs, we can also develop a new model. I'm not just mentioning about agriculture, that can be everywhere. In education, even in tourism, nightlife, let's say finance.
Even a simple gym membership.
Yeah, even a simple gym membership, or you know, in our lives, we need to be a part of the community. People tend to live in a society, let's say. So now we need to show, let's say, Joker here, the last Joker especially. So basically, if we are able to create new models and new experiences, also the benefits together, that can create maybe a new type of government. When we took off, let's say at the start in 2012 with Oyunder, we had a vision, and our vision was, let's say, if anyone from Andromeda, or let's say from another galaxy, wants to learn how this game business should be done, he or she needs to tend to come to Earth, especially in Turkey. So, if we are able to do that, we can also change the world, I guess.
So the whole Çiftlik Bank thing kind of brings up something interesting. Now, that guy, Tosuncuk, was basically in our faces, so we knew he was. We could just do our own research on him and made an educated guess or like a even more educated decision. Whereas the whole, I would say, hysteria behind getting rich quick kind of diverted all of that from the project or like from the rug pull itself. Now, this brings me to here. We are going through thousands of white papers, thousands of projects each and every day. In terms of doxing the team, and for those who are unfamiliar, Doxing is basically the whole team showing themselves on the team site, saying that, you know, okay, this is my LinkedIn, this is my profile page, you can address me here, there's a real team over here. That's basically doxing your team. How important for each and every one of you is that a team is whether 100% doxed, 50% doxed, or if you see like a nobody who is like an NFT artist that has only like a Artist37 nickname and just a cool profile picture but has no links in the Web2 in a founding team. What do you feel about teams like that? How doxed should teams be? How doxed should the projects be?
For me, I don't need to know the real name of the person. I know him on Twitter. I know what he's doing or what he's done. It is enough for me. The real name is not very important actually. And I can understand why they don't want to share their real identities because of the security. I can understand that also. Of course, to deal with real people are much more comfortable, but it's not a necessity for me, personally.
I will remind you about your, let's say, answer in 5 or 10 years about sen Abdülhamit'i savundun.
Yeah, I figured.
Ben savunmadım diye şimdi gidiyorum.
OpenSea'nin tokadını...
I think the team and the doxation and public profile, I don't know. It could be pseudonymous, by the way, or not anonymous, pseudonymous. It should be some Twitter or something like that. But the team is everything in the crypto project. Probably I read 10,000 ICOs in my investing life. And you know that thing, if the guys is strong and agile and good, they can do everything. For example, they say to you, I want to create a water, they can create a book. Nothing important. You will get your investments. So the team is really, really very important for me as a personal. And when you look at the total white paper, I am just looking at the team and the tokenomics, nothing more. I am not reading idea too much, by the way, really. I am just looking at the industry. The fintech solution is very hypey and gaming solutions are very hypey in the ICO projects. I am just looking team and the tokenomics. But it doesn't matter. It could be a pseudonym, like something Twitter name and Instagram name.
Okay.
Are you sure that my name is Murat? Did you check my ID?
Yeah.
Does it matter for you?
I mean, not in particular, sure. So I'm so glad that you brought up, you know, tokenomics and the project details. In your opinion, what are the biggest red flags when you see a tokenomics or like the ideation or like the white paper? Like, what are the biggest red flags you see that you say, okay, I'm out of here?
Dedication. What's that? The vesting period. For example, you will see, and we saw a lot of projects that they are just locking their tokens 2 months. It's total bullshit, by the way. For example, I am also writing a tokenomics, and I am locking my tokens 3 years. It's very important because at the end of the day, we are chasing with the finance. And I am always saying with my partners and with third parties, the Web2 motto is every company have to be data company, even if...
You are also aware that doesn't, let's say, attract the sharks.
Yeah. Yes, it's very important. You have to control your board, token board. So dedication, what I mean, you have to lock some tokens and you have to vest in correct order. It's very, very important. And as I said before, the team, in my knowledge, is very important. And yes, of course, in the details, roadmap, and it's also important. But in the tokenomics, details of the tokenomics, the other thing is the distribution. You cannot take 30% for you because you are already invested by someone, or probably you will invest it with the tokens. You cannot like 30%. you can just take maybe 10% or 5%. So the luck amount, distribution amount is also very important in the tokenomics.
I'm not an expert of tokenomics, so I'm just looking for the game parts and the game economy part actually, because there are a lot of Ponzi style games out there, and really I'm very tired and I am sick of that type of games. For me, it is the most important part is the game and economy part.
Don't be afraid. So, if you are talking about games, NFT-based games, let's say cryptocurrency-based games, I think the real models are none shown yet. The great models who will have much more impact also on our industry, on our daily lifetime. It needs to be maybe it will take 2 or 5 years more, but definitely there are some, let's say, huge push on that, because the gaming industry is always some kind of, let's say, leading industry, because it can change your habits, your understanding of things. Maybe we should also create let's say, some simulations to show the difference between a decentralized economy world and a centralized economy world, and how will impact our daily lives. If you are able to show and give them, to show the players, and that meaning they change the complete economical fundamentals, that will also create an opportunity to build an economy on that. I'm not mentioning NFT, I'm mentioning blockchain on that case. So, my answer to your question will be, we need more time, we need more, let's say in Turkish, old Turkish tefekkür on that. Yeah, it needs to be done, and it also needs to be a lot of pain. People will lose their holdings, their, let's say, capitals, also their motivations, which is much more important than capital and let's say holdings. But in that time, that will be not an effort for, let's say, empty effort, because definitely we will see the right models and the right time, and people will demand that, because it will change our understanding of our whole world. I mean, real world. The borders will be, let's say, much less important, and in that kind of world. The production pipelines will support that understanding of the real economy inside the games. Yeah. And then we will have, like Palpatine, we will have peace.
Okay, by the way, let me add some more question. As I said, in Web 2, every company has to be data company. And I'm always saying this buzzword, it's very important. And in Web 3, every company has to be financial institution. It's very important. So you have to learn some finance. By the way, as a science area, I hate the finance. But I learned these finance things with the blockchain, because the main roots is working with the finance. It's nothing different, by the way, in the game economics, but you have to learn in all parts of your, not at the moment just game designers, maybe CTOs or maybe programmers and everybody in the blockchain area.
I mean, especially on the finance part, I couldn't agree with you more, because I'm much more of a, what we call a kitchen person, or someone that works in...
More or less?
Oh, sorry, no, I totally agree with you. Let me just rephrase it. Because here's the thing, I'm much more of a, back-end type of person. I just want to, build cool shit and just move with it. But now I have to learn all of these like bullshit things about finance to keep the company alive.
Unfortunately, by the way.
Okay, cool. So kind of moving on to the developer side of things. We know that there's a great blockchain developer community in Turkey. People are definitely interested. A lot of young blood is coming into the area. But at the same time, we need to show a lot more effort to keep them here. So just put yourself in the shoe of a blockchain developer. Like, what would be your go-to strategy to, gain momentum and be part of some team that, shows great excellence and promise, and just build some cool shit over here?
Actually, it's a little harder than making a traditional game, because on blockchain games we have no best practices. We have even no benchmarks. We don't still have a good blockchain game now. We will try different things. Some of them will be good, some of them will fail. But we have to keep trying. That's the only way, I guess.
Now you can repeat your question.
So basically, just put yourself in the shoe of a blockchain developer in Turkey. So, what would be your go-to strategy just to, gain momentum and be part of a team that delivers excellence?
Are we speaking about, let's say, a perspective of a startup founder? Or
just a sole developer.
Blockchain developer who needs to tend to be in a project anywhere, anytime.
Just someone that works from their garage.
As a workforce, yeah. From my perspective, if you are a blockchain developer, your first priority will be the project's quality. To, let's say, yes, you can work everywhere, also in a game project, also in a real-life project, in a project related with finance, etc. But if you want to, it's not, by the way, not just, let's say, just related with the blockchain developer. It's related with all of us, no matter in how proficiency you are working. If you want to build up your name and build up your, let's say, if you want to get proud from your work, who are you working for? Let's say you need to be in a good project. That doesn't exclude games. By example, we are now trying to build up a blockchain project which also includes real-life issues, and very hard issues, by the way. We should, let's say, I couldn't mention that project because it is very new. We have an ongoing effort on that, but it will change our look to the digital, let's say, all of the digital values. And if you are be a part of the project which also, let's say, releases real intrinsic value, your name will definitely come up, because then you can also do your own work because of your credits you earned. Also, you can also include to now some new projects which are very good because you show your excellency or your knowledge in practice. I think that's not so different than other type of developers.
Actually, my answer was for the founders. If you are a developer, to choose a company to work, you have to read the white papers of the projects first and choose the best project with the best team. Not choose the best team and best project. Make a list of best projects and best team and choose the one with the highest salary.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, totally agree. It's why very important. You have to learn more things. First of all, if you are a game developer, you have to be a tough guy. And if you are a blockchain developer, you have to be also tough guy. Why? Because think about the gaming is very rocket science, by the way. Because if you are a game developer, especially like backend developers, you have to know how the computer works, how CPU works, how memory works. You have to arrange your resources and something like that. The blockchain is also the same. The blockchain is real rocket science. You have to know cryptography. You have to know some decentralized way of programming. And you have to know some finance things and something like, yes. Security, very important, by the way. So you have to know a lot of things. So again and again, learn new things as a developer. And the same rules always contribute open source projects. It's very important because the blockchain area area is community-driven area. So you have to contribute to community. And you are raising your brand with these contributions.
Great stuff. Just a quick check.
No, may I say something? So this topic. So okay, I'm not in your panel, but I can say something like this topic, because I can say there is no any developer, blockchain developer in there. Because the blockchain developer like internet developer, it's mean. I guess the point is the software developer the different thing, the blockchain project manager or project developer is the different thing. So you have to learn. The Tansu said same thing. You have to learn why we need this sector or in this sector. Why can I catch up the new things on the area, the new area? I believe that. So if you know some kind of the software about blockchain, so you can join any project in the sector, I guess.
Well, this will be kind of on the nose, but at the same time, coming into events such as GameX is also a great way to network with individuals and make a name for yourself as well. I mean, I'm sure that that's also kind of like a given.
And you should join Game Factory. don't forget it.
Let's put the shameless plugs to later on.
Gamefactory.gs.
Cool.
You have time, so
yeah,
you have.
Okay, great. So another thing that kind of happened rather recently with Yuga Labs and the whole other side thing where they basically broke Ethereum. On that front, one of their responses was saying that, okay, this just shows that we need to create our own chain, and we need to, differentiate ourselves from Ethereum and just drop that technology and move on to something big. Now, in my opinion, I think this was a really bad case of not managing expectations and not managing the community in the right way and just being like very nonchalant about the whole mess up that just happened.
New technologies comes always with the start of new technologies come always with misuse.
True.
Okay? Misuse will be your experience, and it is really your experience now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. In my opinion, they could, I mean, not that, I'm totally fine with them breaking Ethereum. That's totally fine. I'm not okay with the fact that they manage it so poorly on the community management side, like their responses or their attitude, if you will.
I think
it's like saying oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but that's a, let's say, critical way of thinking. And if you are more focused on the technology, much more than experience, that can create that problem. Because all of the, I looked some of the white papers of the project. They are much more focused on the technology, but not the technology's use of.
Not who's going to use it.
It depends on your life, how it is able to change your life, to impact your real life quality, or real life benefits. If it doesn't include the real, let's say, the real life economy and our understanding of our economy, daily life economy, I guess, I say. You go to the, let's say, market, you buy bread or something else. This is an experience for you. But if you are more focused on the technology and not the use of it, that will create the distance between really value-added use of technology or the pure technology.
Here's the thing that I kind of wanted to focus on. So, with the whole Bored Ape Yacht and their other side project, Yuga Lab is kind of becoming like an industry behemoth. For some, they are basically a rich kids club. For others, they are like the mecca of innovation. And in your own opinion, are they becoming more and more like the villain of the industry, or are they just too big to fail at this point?
I'm not sure about that, but blockchain has some really important roots. And I'm expressing these things. You cannot be anarchist in the environment of anarchism. So you cannot be Ethereum killer. You cannot be Bitcoin killer. You can just maximize the benefit of that chains. If Yuga Labs try to play this game, probably the community will really reject them very hardly. Because, yes, of course...
You cannot know that.
Yes, I don't know. But we have some samples, like BCH. They try to go out and say we are a Bitcoin killer because the protocol has some problems. They got some FOMO and community killed them. Yes, because everybody knows in this salon, yes, Ethereum has problems. But you cannot think Ethereum as just a currency or just a protocol. It's holding 20% of the market, by the way. So that's why poorly managed an Ethereum so far, because you cannot update everyday Ethereum. Because when there is some really bad issue, like Terra or something like that,
that will impact.
Yes, huge impact, because the second one of the market. So, in my opinion, yes, Ethereum has some problems, maybe some poor management, but you cannot say I am the Ethereum killer, I will collect this community, and I will push out this Ethereum. And I will also on the side of the Ethereum, by the way.
I mean, if I were to purchase Ethereum, each time I heard someone said we are the Ethereum killer, I mean,
yeah.
I would have been so rich right now.
Yeah.
He's also asked, are they villains?
Yeah, are they villains or are they too big to fail?
I think villains.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Olur mu?
Nobody wants that.
Come on, I think we could be a bit more brave than that.
Villain or just too big to fail?
Everyone can fail. Everyone. So,
Yes.
Do we have time, or are we closing now?
1 to 2 minutes.
So, okay, my answer will be, you should be careful in everything, and do not put your whole faith in one technology or one thing. Even for humans, yes, because human can change. So if you are, yeah, you can put your faith in something like gold or silver, let's say. But even in a time of crisis, sometimes bread is more important than gold. So I hope we will not experience that kind of thing in upcoming 5 or 10 days, years, let's say. Because it seems to be coming.
And one more sentences, by the way. Think about the Polkadot. The Gavin Wood, the creator of the Ethereum, by the way, is there any possibility doesn't know the problems of the Ethereum or the community? But he goes to stage and said, I am a Polkadot and I will extend the Ethereum ecosystem and create very benefits to this ecosystem, and I will solve problems, but not try to kill Ethereum, by the way. It's very important to behave like this in the blockchain era.
Yeah, build on top of things instead of just trying to kill them.
Yeah, I know.
Great stuff. Well, I mean, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your attention as well. I think we can call it a wrap.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yes.